So look, let's go into it. We got one more set of game balls to do. The semifinals game balls. So we're gonna give one for the Alabama Michigan game, and we're gonna give one for the Washington versus Texas game. I'm gonna go first. My first game ball is for the Michigan and Alabama game. And honestly, I got to go with the thing I've been shouting out in the last couple weeks. I've been talking to you about your defense. Your defense played huge in that ball game. And it was early and it was often. I mean, obviously, you had the interception, and then almost, momentum starts to switch. You have the second play that almost was an interception, but he stepped out of bounds. And then you can start to see that momentum going in the other direction. And two times, or at least the first time, your defense had their backs against the wall. And there was no backbiting. There was no trash. So it was, we got a job to do. Let's get it done. Yeah. On top of that, we all know Milroe is a scrambler, somebody that moves out the pocket. He looked like he was under duress early in that game. Those early sacks and everything. Your defense, 6 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. This defense came alive, and it finally looked like they're taking, they're looking around like, y'all not respecting us? Y'all don't respect what we doing here in Ann Arbor? Okay, we about to show you what we do. And we can always talk about how Alabama, maybe they had, their talent wasn't, as good as it might have been, or at least we don't know the names. It don't matter. Michigan showed up when it was needed. They came at the right time, and honestly, they balled out all throughout that ball game, and I got to give them their love. I got to give them love in the game ball. Who is your game ball for the Michigan versus Alabama game?
Before I throw mine in there, I just want to say that is the most times a quarterback's been sacked while Saban's been coaching Alabama. That was the most sacked quarterback in the history of Saban at Alabama. My game ball for Michigan, it's a tough one because I wanted to go. You know what? Screw it. I'm changing. I had JJ, so I originally had Corum. Then went to JJ. I'm going back to Blake.
Let's go.
All the stuff I said about him earlier. JJ, I'll just read his numbers off quick. 17 to 27, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns. He definitely brought it once he settled in. But the numbers don't show the kind of game Blake Corum had. 19 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown to go, and that touchdown when it happened was so crucial. But then he also had 2 catches for 35 yards and another touchdown. Yeah. So, over 100 yards from scrimmage, 2 TDs, and he was just the heartbeat of this team throughout that entire game. Absolutely. So, the greatest running back to ever play at Michigan, had to give him his flowers.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. Ooh, the greatest. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay.
And I think if we finish the job on Monday, it's also the greatest quarterback to ever play at Michigan. What JJ's done versus some of the other, all these other guys are saying it. Jim's saying it. Brady's saying it. You got the other Michigan quarterback saying, no, he's the one. I think this is one of the greatest Michigan teams we've had assembled. I don't know if it's the greatest. I won't go that far. But I think the greatest quarterback, greatest running back reside on this team.
Well, I can dig it. I don't want to take credit for McCarthy's success, but when you guys played UConn last year, I was in the big house. He was coming in the tunnel. I said, hey, good luck. He kind of looked up and said, thank you. And, he played great ever since. I'm not going to take credit for that, but I'm just going to say I was there. Okay, I'm just all I'm saying.
All right.
All right. And who is your next game ball for the Washington versus Texas game?
I just talked about Corum being the heartbeat of that Michigan offense. The lifeblood of that entire Washington team is Michael Penix. They only go as far as he goes, and he was electric on last Monday night. 29 to 38, 430 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Kind of just did whatever he wanted to against that Texas defense. And they absolutely deserve to be where they're at. And Penix is a massive reason why. So I had to give him my game ball for this game.
Oh, yeah. I was looking back through a lot of the old clips that we had, And in the beginning of each season, we asked the question, who was going to be this year's TCU? Now, I don't even know if I want to. I actually don't want to put. Washington is better than TCU was, and we just did it as in who's going to come out of the woodworks to be in this spot. And one of the teams we had was Washington. Yeah. And when you look at their talent, led by Penix, led by that head coach, I mean, this is where we should have expected them to be. And I'm happy that they're there. And if you talk to our guy Alec, he'll let you know that there's a reason. It's because they have NFL caliber talent. And look, those wide receivers, you mentioned Odunze, Polk was another one. Obviously, they got McMillan. But just between my game ball goes to Odunze and Polk. Polk had 5 receptions for 122 yards. Odunze had 6 receptions for 125 yards. So you're sitting here looking at 11 receptions for over almost 250 yards between these two guys. Right, the half the yardage of this quarterback. I mean, these two guys alone. And honestly, we all know they're NFL scouts, and all these guys will be clamoring for these guys to come, and for Penix as well. But it says something when you do it in the biggest game. When you do it when your team needs it, the chance to get to the national championship, and these guys played better than they've played, in my opinion, on par with how they played all year, because they've been balling out all season long. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I got to give it to them. I didn't want to give it to one and not the other because, I mean, that's a two-headed monster.
That's the whole reason I went Penix. I was just like, I can't pick which one. I'm going this one.
Right. And hey, shout out to them. Shout out to Washington and shout out to those guys getting it done, man. Getting it done. Oh no! See this, Johnny.
I just know who to go at on Monday.
There it is, Johnny. I'm sorry. And look, we know where you stand, Johnny. You've been kind of in the weeds all year, but you've been still sending us those videos of your husky. Oh, see, it comes out, Johnny. I should have known. Husky. Oh man.